Hi guys, today we'll be demonstrating our Cloud Flask application which uses NASA API with easy authentication and authorization. These are our team members. This is the overview of our application. Let's move to the next part. Flask, an important component used in developing our project, is a lightweight Python web framework for creating web application. CodeZook is a Python utility library which provides development and debugging tools for implementation of web application gateway interface. Additionally, Flask Login provides user session management and handles common login related tasks over extended periods of time. Blueprint is a concept used for making application components and supporting patterns within and across applications. A blueprint object works similar to Flask application object, but not actually an application. Rather, it's a blueprint of how to construct or extend an application. In our application, we have made use of SQL Alchemy as a database. It has been used due to its advantages like automatic synchronization of model and schema, ability to construct query in Python, and seamless integration with web frameworks. NASA APOD is an external API that has been used while implementing the project. Here we can see that current day's image is fetched along with its information. Here we'll be briefly talking about the overview of the application. Front end is the web page that the end user will access to interact with the application. Next, we can see the REST APIs that have been used such as get, post, and put, etc. The application has been deployed on Google Cloud. And now I'll hand it over to my team member to give you a code walkthrough.
Okay, let's move on to the code. First, we'll be seeing the init.py file. Well, this file does a couple of things, but the most important thing it does is allows us to create a package so that each and every file can access each and every file easily. First, we initialize the database. Then we configure the secret key and the URL link. Then we provide our application to the database. Login manager. This part we can skip for now, but I'll tell you a brief about it. So this login manager is what we will use to manage our users and their sessions. Then we'll import some of the files or let's say blueprint that we'll be seeing next. Main.py. So this file is basically used to run the application. A couple of things to note here are debug, which allows you to whenever you edit the code, it will rerun the server instead of you stopping and starting the server again and again. This part you can keep it true when you're developing the application and turn it to false when you're deploying it. Host basically 0.0.0 will allow all HTTP requests instead of providing a specific IP at port 5000. Uh, auto.py, which deals with authorization and authentication part of the application, which is where most of the REST and CRUD operations will happen. The root function tells the app what to do when user presses login or provides /login in the URL. We are using post method to fetch the information from the HTML forms. First, we're checking the email. Second, we're checking if the password is matching. Third, if the password does not match, return the user to login page. And if the password matches, send the user to the profile page. For sign up, we are doing the similar things, but instead of just checking, we are actually committing the new user to the database. You can see we have used a hashing method and method SHA-256, which is widely used for hashing. Moving on to views. Views cover two pages, which is index, which the user sees when he first accesses the application. Second is the profile page, which is rendered when the user is authenticated. Moving on to models.py. So models.py is the file that actually handles the interaction with the database and allows us to secure the database with role-based access control obligation operations. As we see, we have added a few operations such as a user, admin, and regular user. So the admin has access to all the content. The regular user can just view the application And if the user is not registered, we will just deny them. Moving on to the JavaScript. So JavaScript will handle the external API operations. As we know, API are accessed using links and API key, which we have defined in a constant variable. Then we'll pass those variable to the fetch NASA data method. So the NASA method will fetch the picture of the day for today's date. The file is written in an JSON format, which will store in constant data variable, and then use that variable to render it to our HTML page. Moving on, fetch data. Fetch data does the same thing but has a few advanced functionalities. Let's say we have added event listener. So whenever the user clicks on the random button, it generates a random date and then passes that date to the API link and fetches the data for that specific date. And then we'll do the same operation which we did before. We'll just use the data and render it to our web application. Moving on to the app demo, let's see the application demo. So I've already deployed my instance and the application is running. I'll show you the deployment and instant parts later. Let's see about the application first. So let's say we signed up first. So here I'll provide my email, my name, and a password. Sign up. So it says email already exists. So this is a part of verification that we are doing. So I've already signed up before. So it says go to the login page. So let's try login in. After we log in, we can see that for today's specific date, this is the picture of the day and this is its information. So if we click a random button, it will generate a random date. Let's say the date is up 2015. So for some specific reason, the picture is missing, which we cannot say why, because it's via an application server. Let's click random. Yeah, so some pictures may not render because as it's an open API, it has its issues. So this is how we've implemented our application. Let's click logout. So a few things that I want to cover. As I said, our main focus is authentication and authorization. Let's say a user tries to perform some kind of SQL ingestion. He knows that our authenticated pages, let's say its name is profile. He tries to do that. The application will say, please log in to access this page. Similarly, we have also done validation. Let's say a user tries to provide incorrect data. Let's say that email is not in correct format. Sign up. So it says the image should include so and so information. And let's see about the instance. So I'm going to show you my instance first. This is the instance that I'm running. This is its external IP. As you can see, the Flask application is running on same IP on port 5000. We have also implemented some IAM rules IAM rules to secure the instance. So you can see here, I am the owner. I've also added Karan as an editor so he can access and edit the application. So moving on to the deployment part, the project is available on GitHub. You can follow the README file for the deployment. It's pretty much self-explanatory. You can just follow the steps and run the application. It basically covers everything, requirement file and everything. That's it. So whenever you use the application, the instance shows what request a user is making. So these are the requests that I've made so far. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, comment down below. The link for the project will be in description.